telling you.
There is no game greater on the regular season schedule in Jimmy's mind than this one tonight since he suited up with the Golden State Warriors. They are now, 16-3 since Jimmy has since the trade happened back on February 5th with Jimmy in the lineup. The Heat in that same time span, 5-17. So it's clear that the Warriors won this deal, both short and I'm sure long-term too, because even the pieces that the Heat got back in this, it doesn't feel like it's going to be any kind of building blocks to a dynasty, more so just adequate return for a guy that did not want to show up and play in your uniform anyway. But I want to focus on specifically tonight and specifically the enigma that is Jimmy Buckets. I'm curious, C-Cat, because from what we've seen through his career, from Chicago Bulls to the Minnesota Timberwolves to the Philadelphia Sixers, the Miami Heat, and now the Golden State Warriors, Jimmy's on his 5th stop. I'm curious if, like I talk about with Aaron Rodgers all the time, if the juice is worth the squeeze. If you are an NBA owner, if you own and operate a franchise, maybe if you're a coach, if you're a general manager, if you're in the decision-making chair for an NBA team today, would you want Jimmy Butler in your locker room? Not talking about at what cost. I'm talking about even Jimmy at his current age and his current abilities, contract aside. Would you want that personality, that guy who you know you can get him in a way that feels like, oh my gosh, yeah, we have this new bubbling energy because he's so contentious and mad about his past stop. But just like we've seen at every destination Jimmy Butler has been at, he has also left in a literally like just a in a demolition, right? The Timberwolves one was highly publicized with the Rachel Nichols interview, and it feels like every year we get a new detail from that story where he just ran the T-Wolves starting lineup with the backups and then ran literally from practice to his home to do that interview. Like, we feel the nuggets from that story never get old. You saw how he felt about the Sixers' departure and how much jaw-jacking he was doing coming off the court when they got a chance to play the Sixers again, about how the Philadelphia decided to choose Tobias Harris, paying him over retaining the talents of Jimmy Butler. I'm curious what Jimmy does tonight, but also I will say this. Miami Heat might not have liked the way it ended. It was totally worth the deal that they made back in 2019 to bring Jimmy Butler down there to Biscayne Boulevard. And I would dare say for the Golden State Warriors and maybe whatever team that acquires Jimmy Butler next, trust me. Trust and believe you are going to enjoy your full time with Jimmy. You might not like the way that he leaves. And at this point in his career, I mean, the way he leaves next, likely retirement, right?
Right.
It's not too many more like, oh, trade me, re-sign me type things. At this point, it's, do I have another season of basketball left in me? And if that answer is no, the franchise that does get him next, if it's not just him retiring out with the Warriors, should be extremely happy. If I'm running an organization, I want 15 guys like Jimmy Butler, maybe not all with the same mouthpiece as his, but definitely with that mentality.
But aren't we kicking the can down the road? Because eventually, whatever team does have Jimmy Butler will probably give up on Jimmy Butler before Jimmy Butler gives up on the dream of still being an NBA star.
Right.
So, we're going to have that confrontation eventually, because we know how much self-confidence Jimmy Butler has, and we know how much of a business these organizations are, specifically the Warriors. Like, they've got all their fill of sentimental guys who they might give an extra year, and they probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, Steph will probably get more than he will actually be worth later on. He probably won't be producing at the amount of money he's making.
You think
later.
He's going to get like the Kobe contract, like what Kobe Bryant got with the Lakers, when we all knew he was pretty much cooked, but they wanted to give him the legacy deal on the way out the door to show people how they treat their own stars.
And he certainly earned it with that organization to get paid more than he's worth later on in his career. So the Warriors are not going to give him a deal like that, and a deal like that is probably the only way Jimmy Butler's going to be satisfied at the very tail end of his career, because we're already in the middle of the tail end.
So Jimmy Butler's 35 years old, and to provide context to that, that's the same age as Draymond Green. It's actually 2 years younger than Steph Curry, who's 37 right now. And it's funny because the way I see it, if I had to project this out, I do believe that not just Steph and Draymond, but also Jimmy Butler all retire Warriors. I think that they line their careers up in a way that even if they're not, I'm not saying they're going to go out with a championship. I do think they're going to give themselves multiple bites at that apple, including this year. I mean, look at what they've done so far, and look at what we know about Jimmy Butler's game, not just when he joins a new team, but also how he upticks in the playoffs. They are 16-3. They have been climbing up the charts in the Western Conference. Right now, they are the 6th seed, but they're only 2 games back of actually having home court advantage in the first round. They are like a definitive good basketball team, both offensively and defensively, when Steph Curry is available. And I'm not sure if we got the full report yet on if he will be available tonight. He has been laboring an injury. I believe he sat out their last game against the Hawks. That team at full strength is going to be a problem for pretty much anybody in the Western Conference not named the Denver Nuggets.
Take issue with that because you're already counting these chickens as if this is a resounding success.
Yeah.
If the Warriors get bounced in the first round of the Lakers, which is a very real and possible possibility, are we talking about this walking into the sunset, end of Greece finality of these guys' careers? No. There's already going to be dissension.
They're not going to move him. They just signed him to an extension, a 2-year extension, $111 million.
Yes, but it's not going to be kumbaya. Like, these guys have been together for, what, a month and a half now, and you're already lining up each and every one of their careers to end at the same time?
So the reason I do that is because there also is, just like we talked with Aaron Rodgers and why we do believe maybe there's a little bit left in that, maybe there is a bit of humility that comes with his age and the past couple of years in New York. I do believe at 35 years old, Jimmy does understand this is likely his last destination and his last chance to fight for a championship. Also, there's not many other teams in the NBA that could actually withstand the personality that is Jimmy Butler. I think there's really only 2 organizations left that prove they could. And it's the 2 that we see in the jersey right now on our ESPN West Palm YouTube stream right now. If you're watching us at ESPN West Palm or on Twitter at ESPN West Palm as well. Jimmy Butler thrived in a Miami Heat uniform. The only reason why this relationship went sour is because Pat Riley failed to build the right contending team around him to make the most out of what Jimmy could be, but also didn't believe that extending him would create a chance to drop another banner at Kaseya Center. So it made sense for both sides to part ways. They should have done it in a more cohesive way. But it's Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. Damn it, there's going to be a little bit of tension. But also, the Golden State Warriors are the perfect fit right now for what Jimmy Butler brings. They know how to withstand a personality that is probably more demonstrative, if you can even get to that, with Draymond Green. But also, Jimmy Butler today is a better player than what Draymond is, and it'll be a lot easier to put up with some of the fight back, some of the bickering you'll get out of him, because even at Draymond's worst and even at Jimmy's worst, the one thing that they both have in common, they just want to win.
Sure.
They just want to win. And